ndinoda kuti nyika isiwe vanhu vangu inguva yedu hatingatadzi kubudirira mwari ari parutivi pedu rambai muchirwa. My hitters don't die, the real hitters gon' shine and my people gon' line. That's my point to win, yeah. I ain't saying
how the hell do I not have a deal? I swear this thing is a real dog. I play it fan off, the cowards that they can't feel. The wife try to console me like it's coming, baby, chill. She don't understand. I'm the only one that's real. I remember the third grade. Them kids, they had waves. I had them BDBs. You know that Zimbabwean grade. So they do shades and your boy hit the stage. Press play and all the chicks was like, yeah. While boys was moving bricks, I was moving chips. If she gave me calculus, gave her a mouthful of it. Heat rose to this thing, boy, I bet on myself.
Hi, everyone. Grand rising to all of you. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I got an amazing Wednesday episode for y'all. We love it as a wonderful Wednesday. I got Berry Crosby in the building. We're going to be talking all about his business and his connection to the singles mixer event that you heard about right here on the Day with Trae earlier this week from Miss Quaylee Burr. But of course, y'all know it is the top of the show. So it's a great time to tag and share the stream. That's right. Participate, y'all. Go ahead, tag and share the stream with folks who you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness right here on the Day with Trae. If you cannot watch our TV show, we still have you covered because you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. You'll see me on Google, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Apple Music. I mean, like whatever platform is your favorite. There's like 200 of them. You'll find me on all of them, y'all. So go ahead and search your favorite one. Well, I'm excited because I get to do a deeper dive. So up next right now is Mr. Berry Crosby joining me in the Black Media Matters studios right here in my living room set. What's up, Berry?
How you doing? Don't say Mister. I feel old. I'm getting a little old, so just say Berry. But no, thank you for having me.
Well, of course, Berry. It's great to have you. Now, before we get into your connection to the Singles Mixer event, it's your first time here in the Black Media Matters studios and on my show, The Day with Trae, and I'm excited to have you here. I want to talk more about you and your business because you're doing several things. You have a barbershop, you have your own podcast, Shopkulture, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And so you're doing a lot of work out here. Give us some of that background that got you to know, man, first off, I need to have my own business and I'm going to be a barber. And you know what? I got something to share in terms of my perspective or bringing guests on with Shopkulture. Tell us more about your beginnings.
Well, just the barbershop. I was fortunate enough. I'm second generation barber. My father had the barbershop before I came. And even as a kid, my mother and father always instilled in me about entrepreneurship. That was always the key. And even when I had the barbershop, they still focused on me going back to school. They said it doesn't stop. Your education doesn't stop. And so I just been fortunate to just stay in the barbershop and just, grow with the barbershop, grow as a man and in the barbershop. So it's been a great, it's just been a great experience and I'm so fortunate. So.
Well, kudos to you, though, too, for being the next generation that said you're going to continue. We see a lot of our Black businesses shut down because that next generation's like, no, I'm not going to do barbecue. Y'all know I'm still very sad about Home of Good Barbecue. So it's just true, right? Every time my example is barbecue, right?
Yes.
But there's so many different Black-owned businesses that shut down because the next generation is not looking to continue the family business. So kudos to you for saying, you know what, this is something that I'm interested in. I'm going to continue doing it. Now, the barbershop is a shop. It's a cultural space. I mean, we all know this. The beauty salon and the barbershop are two cultural spaces. Tell us a bit about how your barbershop has been able to kind of be that anchor for folks.
Well, I think, especially in our community, is a gathering for men. And that kind of went into the shop culture. And the reason why, we started shop culture is because of the voices we have inside the barbershop. And as you know, it's always inviting and it can get loud. It can get, we can get off the hook, but it comes from a loving place. And I think the all barbershops provide that type of atmosphere.
Well, you're absolutely right. And that's why I'm so grateful that they are continuing. COVID was hit hard.
It was,
Y'all had to figure it out. And I know there was a lot of spaces like that are client servicing, businesses that had to figure out what was the workaround. So kudos to y'all for being able to continue through that rougher time in the service industry. When you think about some of the ways that you're excited about the young folks who come into your shop, I got to ask you about this, because this is oftentimes it's a space where a lot of young men are just finding themselves. That haircut means something. They get up out the chair and all of a sudden that vote of confidence is now bestowed on them. But they're also around a lot of other men. And sometimes if they're in single family homes or single parent homes and they're only with their mom or something, they don't have that. And so this space ends up being such an amazing impact on their lives just by listening to the conversations that are happening. Tell us about some of those young folks you're able to be there servicing the shop.
I have been fortunate because I think the barbershop provides mentorship, and in fact, I just had a situation occur. Actually, about 4 months ago, I had a gentleman come in to my old barbershop. I was over on Rainier Avenue, and he comes in. I totally forgot. I gave him a cut, and he said he didn't have the money to pay for the cut. And he says, "Man, you hooked me up. I got the job 20 years later, and I'm in upper management." And so when you have stories like that, it touches you, because, even on a small way, you're able to impact somebody, and it feels good.
Barry, that's what I'm talking about. I love that you just had that one ready to go. We didn't rehearse that, y'all.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about it, because it was funny. He was on my Facebook page and he was tagging me in something. Oh, the brother's getting married. And he's like, and I was just like, that man, I remember that. I'm like, damn, yeah. So stuff like that, when it hits you, it does.
Yeah. And there's so many different stories that I'm sure folks never came back to tell you about the impact that you had on them, or that another barber in your shop had on them. And that's really something, as a mother of two sons, I recognize the major impact of that. Right. And so from the bottom of my heart, thank you for what you're doing and for keeping the shop open and for giving, that haircut when needed, when they don't have the money. Like, all of these things are a part of how we care for each other. And after the break, I get to talk to you a bit more about how we're caring for each other in the singles mixer event. I can't wait to dive into that with you, because this is something that I've been experiencing. And I told Quaylee, look, if you don't got them in there, it's not going to work. Like, you got to be able to get them in there. So after this short break, y'all, I actually get to talk a little bit more with Berry Crosby, all about his connection to the singles mixer event that's coming up this weekend. You don't want to miss this part. I promise you don't. Stay tuned after this short break. You're watching The Day with Trae.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in and break you out. In the end, we gon' make a child. Then we gon' hit the show. Part 2, we don't need no pause. You can't miss me, we gon' get tipsy. Don't need a power shot.
Copy my steel. Face the fact that copy my steel. Face the fact that
Marcus Trufant here, and for the month of October, Burgermaster and the Trufant Family Foundation are coming together. The Trufant Jalapeno Burger is great. It's going down, and a portion of each burger sold is going right back to the community. Go Hawks! Let's make it happen.
Prosperity in Black America. What will this require? Is Black business prospering? Are we reaching women and minority-owned businesses? How do we achieve earning parity for wealth for our families? Do our children really have access to education? Will our families have choices for our children? Prison pipelines, mass incarceration, tearing our families apart. A healthcare system not accessible to the masses. the disproportionate termination of Black women from corporate America. When will we actually begin to address what's really at play? How do Black people gain more power to help make these changes? This requires a lot of political will and courage. I'm that provocateur of change. I am Cindy Bright. Welcome to Heartbeat.
A world of wonder awaits at Pacific Northwest Ballet's The Nutcracker. Treat your loved ones to the Northwest's favorite holiday tradition at Seattle Center's McCall Hall. Visit pnb.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me today, Berry Crosby. See, I took the Mr. out there for you, Berry.
You see how I leaned in?
Yeah.
I was leaning in. You did it.
Well, we did get to dive in a little bit about your business and the barbershop and it just being a cultural space. And really a part of the culture is finding that life mate. We all in these vessels, that is a desire that we all have. I mean, there's some that are like, I'll be alone for the rest of my life. But more often than not, you find people who are wanting to be with others and to share their life with others. So tell us about how you got with Quaylee and brought your brilliance to the singles mixer that's coming up on the 4th of November.
Well, Special K, and I call her Special K. She came in with just a phenomenal idea. And I was thinking how hard it is because I do get a lot of men that come into the barbershop in this space and they're kind of broken in terms of finding a mate. Everybody has these walls up and it didn't help with the pandemic, as you had mentioned earlier. So when she came up with that idea, I'm like, yeah, that's something that let's try it. I think there would be some traction with it. And surprisingly, yes. I mean, in terms of men are open to it. A lot of times I think we always think this is women can't, like you mentioned before, that women can't find. No, it's men too that feel like that. And so they want a space where they can they can feel comfortable enough where they can let loose and yet find somebody on that level, on their level. That's what I always hear. So.
Well, I'll tell you, it's refreshing to hear that there are men out there who are saying similar things. And honestly, I've been saying it because I talk to a lot of folks, right? And so I hear a lot of different perspectives on this very thing. And it always ends up being a topic of discussion because people are trying to figure out, what is it? Why does it seem like it's more difficult now than it was before? And I do think it has something to do with the digitization of our world and our existence, like our society. But ultimately, a lot of folks are like, man, I thought, you go to the grocery store, you bump into someone, or, you're at the library, you bump into someone, like these public spaces. That's what used to happen back in the day. And for some odd reason, even though we still have these public spaces, our lives are a microcosm. They're like in their own bubble because whatever's on my feed is what's feeding me, right? Whoever I'm around is who I'm around. We got a lot of folks that are like, look, all I got time for is work, come home, get ready for the next day. And so there's not a lot of spaces that are intentional. What are some of the ways that you were able to talk to some of these men and let them know about this opportunity so you could gauge interest and get some of them registered?
I told them, have faith. You have to have faith because one of the issues that we were having earlier was men want to see how these women looked. Men, as we know, are visual. So you have to tell them, relax, have some faith. But first of all, go into it with an open mind. I think a lot of times, us men, sometimes we already have this preconceived notion that things are the way. No, just go in there and enjoy yourself. And that's the first thing. Second, look at the atmosphere. Look at where this place is being held at. It's a beautiful venue. I mean, you have, Lake Washington out there, beautiful hotel. Just go in there and have an open mind. And we're finding, it took a little nudging, but we're finding that men are coming around.
Well, there's also something to be said too about you as a conduit for this. And I want to talk a bit about that because clearly there's a level of respect here that they have for you as well. Some type of relationship, obviously you meeting men in the barbershop. gives you a great purview to some of these discussions that men are having, and then positioning this event as possibly an answer to some of that angst that they may have been feeling around connecting with women. So you're really in a great position to be able to do this, but it says something about you as well, that they would actually listen to where you're coming from and say, you know what, yeah, because I mean, it is blind connection, right? Like a space where you're just going out there and you're saying, man, let me see, because what is it going to hurt you to do that? I think that's probably one of those questions. What are some of those things you're wanting these guys to get out of this opportunity here, out of this event?
I think the main thing, and I always tell them, is be open-minded. Too many times, I think sometimes, and we're all guilty of this, we want things to be easy. We want it where you can either swipe, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes you have to open your mouth. Sometimes you have to put in a little bit of work. Sometimes you have to talk. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's one of the major issues that men, I think, even me, we're lazy. It's easy. It's easy not to really go out of our bubble, but this takes a little bit of effort. But I think you're going to get so much out of it. Not only that, it's not a big event in terms of the volume of people. It's just the right amount of people. So give it an opportunity, give it a chance. And I think you're going to have a great time. Are you coming?
Yeah, I know. Look, I know. I was like, wait a minute. There's one more for a slot for ladies. If it won't be me, it might be one of my homegirls. Because really, I mean, this is something that I think I want people to be able to experience. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to doing a recap where we bring some of the single men and women on the Day with Trae to talk about the experience. Because I think more of us need to hear that. Maybe that's a whole special on dating and being single and what it looks like to have this, courtship, as Quayle was just explaining earlier this week. I think that that's important, but also more people need to hear the experience of those who did step out on faith, who did utilize that opportunity to have a more open mind and do something different. So, hey, maybe that's how we need to bring it back, like Berry.
But like, for example, me, I didn't really know the difference between courting and dating. These are things that even as men, we haven't really necessarily been taught. So us just having this experience and being around this type of conversation, I think is really, really good and really effective for us to learn something. So it's a learning opportunity also.
Look, Berry's telling y'all what it is. I'm telling you, this is great, Berry. I'm glad that you brought your brilliance to it, that there's actually men who are registered now. Now it's on them to show up, y'all. Show up, the men, right?
You make a brother feel good. Look,
show up. There we go. There we go.
You see?
Yeah, this is what it's about here on the Day with Trae.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Berry, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't let you make sure that you plug your shop before you leave out of here today. Look right there. Let them know how they come through and get a haircut and get part of that culture.
It's very simple. Look us up. Berry's Barbershop is a very simple tag on that. But main thing, look up Shopkulture with a K instead of a C. Shopkulture is all the platforms. That's easy. Just type it in, Shopkulture, and we're here.
Well, we'll make sure we bring you back because we got to talk more about Shopkulture. You got other things in the works. So, hey, this is a space for you. Feel free to come back anytime, Berry.
And we have a barber academy opening up really soon. So I will be plugging that. Thank you for that. So we'll tell you more about that later time.
There we go. I'm looking forward to you coming back, Berry.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Y'all, this is phenomenal. I'm telling you, Berry done brought his brilliance to this amazing singles event coming up on Saturday, November 4th. There's a couple slots, I think, still left. Y'all go ahead and look on Quayle Ver's Facebook and Instagram page. Y'all will find it there. But I get to wrap it all up right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time, watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in and break you out. In the end, we gon' make a child. Then we gon' hit the show. Part 2, we don't need no pause. Misty, we gon' get tipsy. Don't need a power shot.
Copy my steel. Face the fact that copy my steel. Face the fact that
Marcus Trufant here, and for the month of October, Burgermaster and the Trufant Family Foundation are coming together. The Trufant Jalapeno Burger is great. It's going down, and a portion of each burger sold is going right back to the community. Go Hawks. Let's make it happen.
Prosperity in Black America. What will this require? Is Black business prospering? Are we reaching women and minority-owned businesses? How do we achieve earning parity for wealth for our families? Do our children really have access to education? Will our families have choices for our children? Prison pipelines, mass incarceration, tearing our families apart. A healthcare system not accessible to the masses. The disproportionate termination of Black women from corporate America. When will we actually begin to address what's really at play? How do Black people gain more power to help make these changes? This requires a lot of political will and courage. I'm that provocateur of change. I am Cindy Bright. Welcome to Heartbeat.
A world of wonder awaits at Pacific Northwest Ballet's The Nutcracker. Treat your loved ones to the Northwest's favorite holiday tradition at Seattle Center's McCall Hall. Visit pnb.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Huge shout out to my guest, Berry Crosby, for being in the building with me today. Y'all can check out his shop at Berry's Barbershop, Berry, and also Shopkulture with a K on all platforms. I can't wait to have him back so we can talk more about his podcast and what he's doing there for the culture. But again, this for me is exciting because we get to get the insight of a Black man who said it's important that these kinds of events for singles, that we do them, that they come together, for those who are looking for this kind of relationship, come together and find out how to set a solid ground, a common ground that you can both work from. So y'all know I was inspired. I want you to be inspired because Berry's not only got a barbershop and a podcast, but he found the time to also entice and educate brothers on why they need to be there. And I'm telling you, if he can wear multiple hats, we can all wear multiple hats out here. Let's find our way to be a part of the solution, y'all. And for me, until tomorrow at 11 a.m., peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.